Wake up! I'm blowing the temple horn first now to call the people together. Ready for some spiritual manna? Hello and welcome to the Good Info Cafe, where multiple intelligences meet each day. I'm JK. Today on earth as it is in heaven on earth as it is in heaven. Pretty good note there. So I'm going to do that song, and but first I wanted to talk about so awesome discussion about death penalty or not death penalty. And isn't it interesting that it came up by President Trump about these I call losers, and I say that in all the ways, meaning if you end up murdering other people, you've lost. Yes, it is still between them and God, and the real God, because there are, King David didn't murder somebody with his own hands, but he sent somebody to the front lines, Uriah, so he could have his wife, and he did die. So, and then he wept and asked for forgiveness from God. Their first child died after a few days, and he accepted that as the punishment. So, yes, a murderer still between them and God, only God knows, but we here on earth, with God's guidance, have a responsibility. See, the God you're waiting for is waiting for us. There are things, our unique godly DNA, there are things that we're supposed to do and not just wait for God. And that would be how to deal with a murderer, the one in El Paso or in Dayton, the one in Dayton killed his own sister. Just, they're crazy, all the information about it. But people did die. So these guys, or the ones who murder little children, innocent little children. Anyway, I don't remember where I was, but it's thou shalt not murder is one of the 10 commandments. It's not thou shalt not kill. Never was, never will be. It's thou shalt not murder. Rashak. However you say Rashak in Hebrew. Rashak. Yeah, in Hebrew. So what I wanted to do is mark this moment. About 20 years ago, when I was in Nashville area teaching and doing music, there were so many guitar players there. And so I would play my stuff. I did not know where you were last night. Yet this you know, that's alright. And then the others would play their songs, and I would turn over my guitar and I would play brushes. Now I'd play it a little more flat like here, but I'm going to turn it so you can see it a little bit. Only good with guitars that you don't care about. And someday I want a guitar luthier to make me one that specifically deals with playing on the back or playing, they can handle that. And that handles it pretty well. This is a really inexpensive guitar. I love it. It's one of my favorite. It stays in tune as good as my gut guitar. That's a fine instrument towards the Stradivarius world of guitars. So my gut guitar, which is upstairs, is one of the most valuable acoustic guitars and one of the most rare acoustic guitars in the world. It's a Gibson L5, 1938 Gibson L5, natural finish with a white pickguard. So, JK has been playing with brushes on the back of guitars that I don't care. Big storm going on back here in the DC area, and it's beautiful. God's nature, nature's God. Oh, that's in the Declaration of Independence, nature's God. Beautiful, and it was hot today, so that's the way things work. The restitution of all things. I think I speak, but my thoughts are going faster, and then that's when I step over the word. So it was like, let's see. So then you got, you don't want to do that too much and bash it. So that's that. And then I'm going to do another version of Shekinah with proskuneo. So let's see how that goes. But here we go. I'll think of the name of it. Darbuka. Darbuka, which means drum or tom-tom in where these things come from. It's also called a dembuk, dumbek, and some other things it's called. I actually wrote it down. It's also called a tabla and a dirbeki, dumbek, things like that, depending on the context of the country. But it seems like Darbuka, because that's where these originally came from. So what I want to say is, I've never played this out anywhere. I'm a trained drummer, percussionist. I studied percussion with Ron Barnett from the Kennedy Senator Orchestra. And so I played timpani, and I also played a vibraphone, marimba. But so I've never played this, and I'm going to try it today. Try some different things. So I did look online today. So we got the flick. And then so all the different sounds come from muting this or letting it ring. It's a little different than, and then you're supposed to hold it like this. So I just looked at some video. I've looked at a few videos before, and then what else? Then it's where you hit on the head. This is a drum head. This is from Turkey, I'm pretty sure. And my daughter, my daughter owns this. She got it, but didn't really learn, and then just said I could use it. So let's see what I can come up with, having never played this. So I want to try to get a. Hello. There we go. So triplets in with speed, and then I'll finish it off. Okay, first time on the Darbuka, and then so I don't think this will be as long, and I'll have my notes here, so I'll try to remember to get. Oh yeah, the food. All right, so I'm doing the temple trumpet first now, and I ordered a silver temple trumpet, so that should be coming soon. And then I'm going to do the shofar at the end. Kind of, the temple trumpet brings everyone together here at the Good Info Cafe. So Good Info Cafe, multiple intelligences meet each day. Got a Reese's. That's what I had the other day and I forgot. So there we go. They're too sugary for me, so I have to find my chocolate, because I love chocolate that's not as sugary. And I know the dark chocolate a lot of times isn't. But here's to the Good Info Cafe. We break bread together. We rely on all five senses. And then the sixth sense maybe is putting them all together and the inside and all that stuff. Here we go. So, pause the video and get your food. Sorry. Pascaneo. 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 Daytime doze, eyes closed, and you're in my dream. Light shines through the window and on to you. Proscaneo, I love you dearly. Proscaneo, I see you clearly. Proscaneo, Proscaneo, Proscaneo means the divine presence of God in Greek, in the Septuagint. Darkness calls, heavy lids fall, then I see you. Morning breaks, I wake and you're in my arms. Proscaneo, I love you dearly. Proscaneo, I see you clearly. Proscaneo, Proscaneo, All right, so proskuneo means the divine presence of God, and that's from the Greek Septuagint that wrote the New Testament in Greek. And then there's a, Yishkeni. Oh no, it's pronounced, Yishkeni, I love you. So Yishkeni is Hebrew for divine presence of God. So I might do that version also. So the question of the day, great discussion. Brent, Sean, everybody, Cherie, Norman, please, if I miss somebody, Tivo. I want to continue it. So my question of the day is a yes or no in your comments. And it is, or not sure. Yes, no, not sure would be, I think everyone could be in one of those three categories. Or lean towards yes, not sure, lean towards no, not sure. Sure, let's do the spectrum of the information literacy action processor. If someone, in front of you murdered a loved one, and you know who it is, and they got arrested, and you know that's them, do you believe they forfeit their right to life and are at the mercy of the society around them? Not the dum-dums that Brent mentioned, like the corporation and all those horrible things that the justice system, the injustice system, so unreliable. But the Good Info Cafe, the supporters, the people here at the Good Info Cafe, does that murderer forfeit their right to life, and then they're at the mercy of the society around them and a just society when Jesus comes and the 1,000 years of peace, and they know he did it, or whoever, he, the person did it. The person, it doesn't even deny it. And that's the question. Yes or no, do they forfeit their right to life? And yes, you could say, I'm basically leaning towards, would it be justifiable to give them the death penalty? So the distinction is a fetus is innocent and a murderer is guilty. So they're the opposites. So if you gave the death penalty to a known murderer, you saw it, you know it, and that's to someone who did a murder, thou shalt not murder, and they did it, they forfeit their right to life. I mean, you know where I stand on this. Absolutely, they forfeit their right to life and they're at the mercy of the society, of a just society, because we're discussing this. But the Good Info Cafe, that's trying to build that as a just society. So yes or no, or maybe, or say which way you lean and all that kind of stuff in the comments would be awesome. And then the grade for the coverage of these massacres by the losers. I say lost souls, they're lost souls. They gave up, but they didn't just take themselves, they took others. So the murderers, the coverage of the murderers who murdered 20 and 10, lots of innocent people. I'm talking about the corporate controlled media coverage, and they get a D because they don't dig, and there's so much stuff that they leave out, and that's partly from not digging, so they just sit at their computer, so they're lazy, and they get a D, maybe even a D minus, or even an F. The coverage is horrible, so I guess that's an F. Horrible is an F. So I think that's it so far. I think that's it. Shofar. I'm going to have to learn how to play the temple trumpet, the silver trumpet, when I get that. I'm excited, though. I think that's it. Good night. We're in the end of some kind of age. Are we in the biblical end of days? The biblical end times? And Yeshua, Jesus is awesome. The greatest person to ever live is my view. and you are awesome. If you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. I love you all.